African 50.
Give thanks and praise unto the Most High, Jah Rastafari, Imperial Majesty the First, Haile Selassie the First. Give thanks and praise. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sit upon the seat of the scornful, for he shall inherit the earth forever. Selah. Good morning, my people. Hola, buenos dias. How are you? It's your boy African 50 coming at you once again with another video, and this video is about the continuation of Rastafarians. Before I get down in the video, I want to big up my friends, my family, my subscribers, my well-wishers, my donors, my viewers, my listeners, both on my channel and my podcast. I want to say welcome to my channel, African 50, your boy out of Jamaica, here in Florida. Bigging up Florida, bigging up Floridonians, always putting Florida on the map, because Florida remind me of home. Thank you for tuning in. It's your boy African 50, and you know, I'm on the segment here today, and I'm going to get into some more inside of the Rastafarians, the beginning, the religion, the culture, the movements, and the journey. I know in part one I gave you guys a rundown of the beginning of Rastafarians and where it's coming from, but Rastafarian is a very wide religion, and like I said, it's not just one body of religion. Of the religion, it's not just one entity, because over the years, other entities from across the globe have picked up the movement. They see that it is a good and a religious movement, and they love the culture and they adapt it. And so your boy African 50 is here to give you some more insight, because like I said, Rastafarian is vast. It's a vast religion, and I in part one I gave you people the beginning of Rastafarian, where it's all started from, where it's coming from. But Rastafarianism cannot be talked about in just one sentence, you know, or one video, because you have the beginning of Rastafarian, where it all started, who it started from, with, you have the religion, how the religion came about, you have the culture, the movement, the journey. But here today, I just want to talk about the religion, because I'll do segment of it. I did the beginning. Now I'm going to give you the religion, and you know, what the religion is all about, what they stand for, and all of that. So yes guys, let's get down into it. Rastas are monotheists. They worship a single God, you know, called Jah. You know, the term Jah is shortened for Jehovah, which is not Jahovah, but Jehovah, Jehovah. The name of the God in the English translations of the Old Testament. You know, Rastas believe in the immanence of Jah. They believe in the essence of Jah. So the word Jah, J-H, is coming from Jehovah, which is Jehovah, you know, and they inherit within each individual. The belief is reflected in the aphorism often called Rastas, that God is man and man is God. And I believe in that. My father used to say that, but my father didn't have to say that to me, because, you know, I trod earth. As a young boy growing up in Jamaica, both in the village and Kingston and other parishes, I trod the earth, and I meet different people, and I meet the presence of Jah, and I know God is man and man is God, because He made us in His own image. So when you look at yourself and you look at another man, you see the image of Jah. And Rasta speak of knowing Jah rather than simple believing in Him, in seeking a narrow distance between humanity and Rastas embrace mysticism, you know, and the idea and the connecting, you know, of the divine force within, you know, within differs from the forms of spirit possession. You know, found in, you know, that I think it was found in the African diaspora religion, such as Kumina, 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 and convinced where, you know, external spirit are invited into the body. And like I said in episode 1, that Rastafarianism, when you're gonna do these things, your hands have to be clean. Your hands have to be clean and your heart have to be pure. Because when you start your chanting, you know, you're conjuring the spirits. You're conjuring the spirit of Jah to come forth. You know, and bless thy name and bless thy word and give you inspiration, and give you the knowledge, the wisdom and the understanding to go forward. You understand? I mean, Jesus is an important figure in Rastafari life. However, practitioners, you know, they reject the traditional Christian view of Jesus. And particularly the depiction of him as a white European. You know, they believe Jesus was black. You understand? And these are practitioners, and they believe that Jesus Christ was a black African, and that the white Jesus was a false god. You know, many Rastas regard as Christianity as creation of the white man. You know, they treat it with suspicion and out of view and the oppressions of black people and African in a whole. You know, white Europeans and the oppressed black Africans, you know, they can't share the same God. You know, our black Africans, African and a white European to share the same God. That's a question to ask. That's a question to ask. You understand? You know, because some Rastas view God as the Pope or Satan or the Antichrist. You know, and Rasta, you know, them often view Christian preachers as the deceivers. You know, and they regard Christianity as being guilty of furthering the oppressions of African diaspora. You know, and more time they frequently referring to it as perpetrated, you know, mental enslavement. And that's why I went back to tell you in my first video that even we Jamaicans, that we think we have independence and we have freedom. No, we got our independence and a piece of paper, but we're not independent because we're still dependent on people. Because if we did independent, how Jamaica have so much crime, a little country as Jamaica. You understand? If we had independence, then the youths would have something to do. The youths them would be working. You'd have free school, free scholarship. You provide free scholarship for all these youths, or provide free trade for them. But everything is all about money. You see a youth struggling and him want to learn, but him struggling to find him way through school, and you kick him out of school because him can't afford him school fee. What else do you expect him to do? You understand? You know, and from its origin, Rastafarian was, you know, it was linked to with Haile Selassie. From the origin. You know, from the original of Rastafarians. You know, Rastafarians was always linked to Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia, from the 1930s to 1974, and up till this day, in age, he remains a central figure in Rastafarian ideology. And although Rastas hold him as the esteemed, precise interpretation of the identity, you know, they understand how Haile Selassie relates to Jesus very among Rastas. You understand? And some Rasta, not all Rasta, but some Rasta believe that the Ethiopian monarch was the second coming of Jesus. You understand? You understand? That's how they view it. That's how they view it. You understand? They believe that the Ethiopian monarch was the second coming of Jesus. And a lot of times they make reference to the interpretation of the 19th chapter of the book of Revelation by viewing Haile Selassie as Jesus. And the Rasta man also regard him as the Messiah prophesied in the Old Testament. That's why you can never throw away the Old Testament, because the Old Testament is the true testament of the Holy Book. You understand? Man can change it around and call it the Bible and put their words in it how they feel like putting it and translate their words different. But the original Holy Book was the Old Testament, where all the truth was and hidden and still is hidden. You understand? You know, because I mean, the Rastaman, they view Haile Selassie as Jesus. And Rasta always regard him as, you know, the Messiah. So, you know, and I mean, the manifestation of God in human form and the living God. Some perceive him as part of the Trinity, alongside God as a creator and the Holy Spirit. They regard the breath within the temple. Rastas who, you know, I mean, they view Haile Selassie as Jesus. And some Rastaman, they argue. You know, and say, you know, both were descendants from the royal line of biblical King David, which Haile Selassie was the descendant of the royal blood of King David, come down to King Solomon, Queen of Sheba. You understand? That was the link right there. You understand? You understand? Because Rasta emphasized the fact that the Monarchian dynasty of which Haile Selassie was member claimed descent from the biblical figures Solomon and Queen of Sheba. So His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie is coming from the lineage of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. You know. Because a lot of Rasta see Selassie as the embodiment of Jesus' teaching and the essence, you know, but some reject the idea that he was the literal reincarnation of Jesus, you know. And I go back to say that you have different bodies of the Rastafarians, because you have the Nyabingi, you have the Ashanti, and you have the 12 tribe of Israel. Because some member from the 12 tribes of Israel, the denomination, for instance, I mean, they reject the idea Selassie was the second coming, arguing that, you know, this event has never occurred, you know, and from their perspective, Selassie is perceived as a messenger of emissary of God, rather than a manifestation of God himself. And Rasta hold that view, some Rasta hold that view until today. Because them hold Haile Selassie as a naive or ignorant, and in some cases thinking it's a dangerous to worship a human being as God. There are various Rastas who even went from believing that Haile Selassie was both God incarnated of the second coming of Jesus, and seeing him as something distinct, you know. And up when the great emperor got the crown on his head, you know, Haile Selassie was given the title of King of Kings and Lords of Lords, the conquering lion out of the tribe of Judah. And I grew up hearing my father said those words: "Hail His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering lion out of the tribe of Judah." I grew up in that, and I used to recite that every day. When I having a bad day, When I having a bad day, I remember those words that my father used to say when he's having a bad day. And once you recite them words, everything is all good. Everything is all good. Because Rasta used the title of Haile Selassie alongside others, man. Such as the Almighty God, Judge and Avenger, King Alpha and Queen Omega, Return Messiah, elect of God and light of the world. You know, elect of himself. You know, Rasta, I mean, they view Selassie as symbol of their positive, you know, affirmation of Africa as a source of spiritual and cultural heritage. You know, and while our emperor, you know, many Jamaican Rastas profess that they believe that Haile Selassie would never die. The 1974 overthrow of Haile Selassie by the military dirge. Yeah, yes, yeah. Our emperor was overthrown, man, by the military dirge, man. Dirge. Look up the word dirge. D-E-R-G. D-E-R-G. And the subsequent death in 1975 resulted in a crisis of faith for many practitioners. So some left the movement altogether, man. Some left the movement. Others remain, you know, and develop new strategies for dealing with the news. And that's why I went back to tell you back in part 1 how after the death of Haile Selassie and the death of our dear Robert Nesta Marley died, the movement kind of was shifting because Rasta didn't know where to go. And that's when great man came about and said, okay, we know the movement is a great movement, this is a spiritual movement, and Rasta ain't going nowhere. Rasta only moving forward, not backwards. And that's how you have the great Babandi and those men came in, the great Burning Spear and those men came in. And tour the world and show Rasta say, listen, even though our King Bob Marley died and gone, but the music lives on and the culture lives on and the religion lives on. You get what I'm saying? You know, I mean, Rasta believe that Selassie did not really die, you know, and claim that the contrary were Western misinformation. They argue, you know, to a point to the fact that no corpse has been produced. Because, you know, the emperor died, but there was no body produced to show that this is the emperor. In reality, Haile Selassie's body had been buried beneath his palace, as some claim, remaining, you know, undiscovered there until 1992. Another perspective within the Rastafarian knowledge that Haile Selassie body had perished, but claim that his essence survived as a spiritual force. A third response within the Rastafarian community was that Selassie's death was inconsequential, as he had been a personification of Jah rather than Jah himself. You understand? Yeah, man. A lot of people were saying the personification of Jah rather than himself. What do you believe? Because during the life of Haile Selassie, them describe him as the devout Christian. Like I said, you know, he was a devoted Christian, but he also had the Rastafarian in his heart. And an emperor not supposed to take one side. You know, he have the side of the Christian world and he had the side of the Rastafarians. And he combined both of them together and he weighed them. He weighed them. But the emperor wasn't for just one side. He was just trying to bring the two sides together in unity. And she would say, no matter if you have a religion and you have a religion and you have a religion, at the end of the day, it's one God, one destiny. One Jah, one destiny. Because I think in 1967, in 1967 interview, the Emperor Selassie was asked about the Rasta belief, you know, that he was the second coming of Jesus. And I think he respond, I have heard of the idea, but I heard of the idea, but, you know, I also met certain Rastafarians, you know, and I told them clearly that I am a man. I am mortal, and that I will replace my oncoming generations, and that they would never make a mistake in the assuming of pretending that a human being is emanated from dietary. And I mean, and I think his grandson Hermes Selassie, Hermes Richie. Ermias, right, Rich? Yeah, you the man, man. You the man. See, I told him, man. I told him. I said, look, you're a white dread, and you still know a whole lot more. You're a white Rasta man, and you know a lot more than black Rasta man. Ain't that a fact? You the man, bro. You know, his grandson Hermes Selassie, Asahi, I think it's Asahi Selassie, Sahi, S-A-H-L-E, Sahi. So it's Hermes Sahi Selassie. I said that there is no doubt that Haile Selassie did not encourage the Rastafarian movement. Crisis of, you know, the Rastafarian have used this as evidence that Rasta theological belief are incorrect. You know, and grandson saying that, although some Rastas take Selassie denials as evidence, you know, that it was indeed, you know, incarnation of Jah, based on their reading of the Gospel of Luke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My people, my brethren and my sisters, you don't think Rastafarians are concerned about the life of black people? Yes, they do. Because above all, Rastafarians, they're concerned about the black consciousness with you know, the rediscovering of our identity, personal and rational, you know, our black people. You understand? You know, I mean, the movement, you know, it all began with the Afro-Jamaicans who wanted to reject the British colonial culture that dominated Jamaica and replace it with new identity based on reclamation of their African heritage. And according to descenders, Europe and whiteness and you know, emphasis is African and blackness, you know, seeking the purge from its followers and belief in the you know, inferiority of black people, because we are inferior. You know, we think we're superior, but we're inferior. We're still living in an inferior world, you know, because we're not together. We're not united. And the superiority of white people, the Rastafarian, you know, therefore the Afrocentric, you know, equating blackness with the African continent and endorsing pan-Africanism. You understand? Because a lot of practitioners of the Rastafarian identity, you know, they identify themselves with the Asian Israelites, God's chosen people in the Old Testament, and believe that black Africans broadly have Rastas more, you know, especially are either descendants of the reincarnation of the Asian people, and the similar belief in Judaism. You know, although many Rastas believe that the contemporary Jews' status as a descendant of the ancient Israelites, you know, the claim is false. Because Rasta, you know, they typically believe that black Africans are God's chosen people, and meaning that, you know, they made a covenant with him to, you know, have special responsibility. Rastafarian, you know, and you know, they see this view that this is truly the identity of black Africans has been lost and needs to be reclaimed. And I mean, there's no uniform Rasta view of and race. No, they're not. Because Rasta see all race as one race. You know, the black supremacy, you know, a theme early in the movement, with the belief and the distinctly black African race that was a superior to other racial groups. Yeah, our forefathers was superior because their way of living and their way of teaching and the culture and their spiritual, you know, embodiment with Jah was they, you know, they were one with Jah and Jah was one with them. And that's why they lived long, that's why they never went to school. There was no school back then. But the schooling was the knowledge that they gained from the farming, from taking care of the cattle, you know, reasoning with other elders, and even youngsters. Because like I said, you can never be too old to learn. Because a lot of things I learned from youngsters that I never hear in my life growing up in my 50 odd years of treading Jah earth. And I always say, man, give the youth supply. Because when you think they don't know, they know more than you think they know. You understand? If you just give a listening ears, just give a listening ears. And like I said, there, Jamaica is known for a lot of things like track and field and cricket and football and all that. But what about those youngsters that dropped out of school and didn't get the opportunity to become an athlete? You know, or become a basketball player, a football player, or a cricketer. The only thing they see is the music. And all you producers and all you gate men, because I grew up seeing that. I know what it's like. Stand up outside of a producer gate whole day in the sun hot, drinking nothing but bag juice or sky juice, waiting for opportunity. And you have the skill, you have the willpower, you have the knowledge, the understanding and the mind to make good music. But no one will give you a blind because you don't come from a rich family. You're a ghetto youth. You understand? So all them producers in Jamaica, whether on a big or on a small, are just coming in the business. I want to see a youth standing outside before you bash him and send him away and tell your gate man to kick him down and box him down. You know, hear what the youth have to say. You don't have to bring him in the yard or bring him in the studio. You can stand up outside the gate and let him do a freestyle. And if you don't think he have potential, you say to him right there and there in front of him face, you don't send him away and say, oh, youth, I'll call you. I'll give you a call. And the youth sitting down waiting one week, 1 month, 1 year for you to call him. And you never call him or her. Producers of Jamaica and here in America and around the world, the youths are the future. Because you cannot carry with you what you have. If you're the best producer in the world, you're going to die and left your title and everything that came with it along. You understand? So that's why I said there is no uniform Rasta view and race. You know, black supremacy was a theme early in the movement, you know, with the belief of distinctly, you know, black African race, you know, we all race a superior race, man. You know, this has opened the religion, the accusation of racism. Because we tell somebody, hey, we are a superior race, or we can do this, and all of a sudden somebody started racist against you, and racist doesn't come within a white man race, racial discrimination against a black man. A black man have racial discrimination against their own black people, and that's why we cannot survive. We cannot strive. We cannot own something and say this is our own. Because as soon as a black man, even if you come out of a youth come out of the ghetto and they have the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding to make good music or to do something in life, and in further down the line, him buy a house or him buy a car, he won't see him black brother start to envy him and bad mind him and saying not supposed to have this, and he either kill him for it or him set him up to go to prison or something along the line. You understand? All these things gotta stop. We can't move forward, people, without unity, and that's what Rastafarianism is all about. Love and unity. Respect your own black brother, respect your own white brother, your own white sisters, your own black sisters. Livity, righteous livity, righteous livity. Whether you're rich or you're poor, because not every man was blessed to be rich, and not every man was blessed to be poor. Because some man, no matter how much money they spend, they still can't get poor. And some man and woman, no matter how much money they make, they still can't rich. Because your destiny is your destiny. And I don't believe in fate, I believe in destiny. I can't foresee my destiny, and I can't foresee a man's destiny. But Rastaism will tell you that. But within the religion and within the culture, you can look into yourself and ask yourself, what am I doing? Is it right or is it wrong? Because a lot of people around the world used to bash reggae music. And if reggae music was a sin, why Jamaica all the Rastaman become successful in the business? Or if a ballhead in the business? Because every man have a trade. And artists have a trade. That's the trade. That's the trade Jah gave to them. It's up to them to use it foolishly or use it wisely. You understand? So that's what Rastafarian is all about. Because I mean, you know, this has always been an open religion. You know, accusations of racism, while some Rastas still hold such belief. Black supremacy has waned in the movement since the 1970s, and non-black Rastas are now widely accepted. You understand? Because Rasta is the way. Whether you bald head or whether you have you grow your ras, you know, a Rasta man comes in different forms and figures. Because just say when he come again, nobody will know who he is. He can come as a white man, he can come as a black man, he can come as a Spanish, Italian, he can come as anybody. A homeless man, somebody dirty, you look down on, and you don't know, you just disrespect the most powerful God of the universe, your maker, your creator. Because that's how we perceive ourselves, and this is where Rastaman come in. That's where the Rastafarian come in. Disrespect no one, insult no one. Love all, embrace all. But most importantly, embrace the culture. Embrace the religion. See yourself as the religion. And see the religion in you. You understand? And for you to do that, you have to come with a pure heart and clean hands. You understand? And even if your heart wasn't pure and your hand wasn't clean, you still can pray for forgiveness. For Jah will always forgive you of your sins. Because no man is perfect. No man. And the face of Jah earth is perfect. No matter how much they try. They will make a mistake one time or another in their life. Because that's human nature. You might be doing something until you do it right with something wrong you're doing. And you might be doing something wrong and you think this is the wrong you're doing, which is the right thing you're doing. You understand? Because Rasta now widely accepted around the world. because, you know, people start to open the eyes. People start to open the eyes, my people. You understand? I mean, some Rastas back in I think in 1963, speech by Haile Selassie, because, you know, a lot of people, and a lot of young Rastafarians, both in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in Africa, and in the European continent, they didn't know that the Emperor King Haile Selassie came to Jamaica. Yeah, I wasn't born then, but my father, I think my father witnessed that ceremony when the Emperor came to Jamaica in 1966. And when he touched down in Jamaica, at Norman Mandela International Airport, I mean, lightning and thunder in broad daylight. With broad daylight, sunshine and lightning and thunder, no rain fall, and the white dove fly down and pitch on the plane. So you want to tell me that there wasn't a spiritual movement right then and there? That Jah fall him rain in the living daylight, no rain, but lightning strike and thunder roll, and no rain. And then after the Emperor exit the plane and get inside and all that, the rain come, the blessing, the showers of blessing came. You understand? And you want to tell me that's not spiritual, my people? Because in speech, I mean, Haile Selassie, the King's speech, in support of racial acceptance, and some maintain that while the Europeans can never be legitimate Rastas, but others believe an African identity is inherently linked to black skin. But whether an individual, you know, dispatch African attitude or spirit, you know, I mean, you know, like I said, they're white Rastas, they're Indian Rastas, because my father is an Indian and he is a Rasta. You know, even though it never grow the way he wanted to grow, because back in the days I remember I was a kid, and, you know, even my aunt them used to you know, make fun of him and said, you know, brother, you know, see, your hair not growing. you know, cut it off, your hair too soft to grow. But a white man hair soft, and him hair grow into a Rasta, and he become a Rasta. I know Chinese Rasta. One of my best friends in Jamaica, we used to live uptown together. You know, he used to live across the street from my house, and he was one of my closest friends, and he was a Chinese, but he was a Rasta Chinese, or a Chinese Rasta, and him here grew just like a black Rasta man. The only thing he had different color and it's softer. So, you know, the religion of Rastafarian is not, it started with black. It started with the black African, Jamaican Africans. It started within them. But as the religion grew and the culture grew, you know, Rastafarian, their belief from day one was uniting people and bringing people together, not just unite black people. Not just unite black people. Because the world will never unite with just one race. You understand? And that's why the world is open for everyone to travel. If you have the money and your visa and the resource to travel to any country you want to travel, you can travel to any country you want to travel. Because that's unity. You understand? Break down all the barriers, and allow people to travel freely amongst the region and worldwide. And this is what Rastafarian is all about, because the world embraces Rastafarianism. The world embraces them. You understand? Because any Rasta right now, from the old days to the young days, they can go on any stage, and once they have the mental capacity to give the crowd a good performance, Even though they might be in Russia, or they might be in Ukraine, and or they be in China, or they be in Hong Kong or Japan, or wherever the case may be, where these people barely understand English, much more patois or Creole. These people know the music because they know it's a Rastafarian movement. You understand? Because you have enough DJ in the business right now, they go to certain country and they have hit song around in America or in Europe or in Jamaica. But when they go to these countries, nobody understand what they're saying. Because they don't know them as Rastafarian, they probably know them as just a ballad DJ, and all they sing about is slackness or guns or whatever. They don't have one reality tune. And that's why I have to talk about the great bounty killer. I have to do a video on the great bounty killer, the Grungzilla, the people general, aka Rodney Price. I have to talk about that man because that man do a lot of gun tunes and stuff like that. But at the same time, the man went back and do a lot of reality tune. Just like the fireman King Shango, just like Sizzla Kalonji. The man can give you reality tune, and if it's gun tune, they can give you that, and if it's woman tune, they can give you that because they're versatile like that. So all you young artists that's coming up in the business, you know, anywhere in the world, just don't give the world one set of music, because the world is diverse. And there are billions of people living in this universe, and some might listen to slackness, some might listen to hip hop, some might listen to R&B, some might listen to jazz and reggae. You understand? People don't listen to just one type of music, so you're coming up in the business, make all different type of music, my young brethren and sisters. Make different music. Make something for the Rastaman, make something for the Christians, make something for the ballad, make something for party goers, dance hall goers, and you'll find yourself on the right track. You understand? Because not because the Rastaman sing about righteousness and holiness, that doesn't mean he don't go and give you a song about this woman or the woman. Because Rastafarians is all about a man marrying a woman, and not the other way around. It's all about the man marrying a woman and the woman marrying a man. And in the ancient days and the ancient world, there was no ring on a man's finger or a ring on a woman's finger. Because just say when a man find a woman, you find it's a good thing. And you find a woman, you take that woman and you call her your wife. There was no pastor or no priest or no pope for perform ceremony, and you spend thousands of dollars and invite people and they come and eat and drink, and you have to go out and spend your whole life savings on a ring for put a ring on a woman's finger. There wasn't about that. Just say you go out there, when a man find a woman, he find it a good thing. And when you find a woman, you take a woman and you call her your wife. So a man living with his girlfriend for years, and they're saying, oh, it's abomination unto Jah for a man to live with a woman for years and not marry. The man married his wife. That's his wife. Whether him have kids with her or not, whether him get kids with her or not, that's his wife. And that's her husband. Because the man find a woman, he find it a good thing. And the woman live with him for years and she love him for who he are. Ring doesn't matter. And in the mind of her mind, that's her husband. And that's why a lot of Jamaican women, they will fight and die for the man, married or not. And that's a fact. That's a fact. That's something I grew up and see. That's something that was embedded in me. A woman does not come take on a woman man because they're not married. Because in her mind, that's her husband. That's her husband, that's her baby daddy. You understand? And vice versa, the man look at the woman and say, that's my wife. Because I live with a woman for 5 years, 5, 6 years, and everywhere I go, I was proud of my woman to call my woman my wife, and I tell everybody that's my wife. If somebody come into the house to fix something, I said, I won't be there, but my wife will be there. We didn't have no ring on our fingers saying we go in front of them pastor and get married. I had a wife here that we did that in front of a pastor, and we got divorced less than a year. You understand? And a woman that I didn't have to go out and buy a ring, expensive ring, or she didn't have to buy her expensive ring to put on both of us fingers. We still call ourselves husband and wife, and we did everything as like husband and wife. Everything. We used to say we gonna ride and die together. But you know, like I said, man don't control the life. Man live the life, they don't control the life. Jah is what control your life. I don't know about you, but Jah control I life. I live I life that Jah give I. But I don't control I life. Jah is in control of I life. And then I live the life. A good life, a bad life, a clean life, or a dirty life. Jah give you that chance to live the life you want to live. And I will always say Rastafarian is the way to go. And you don't have to be dread to be Rasta. I said it again, you don't have to be dread to be Rasta. Because a bald man out there, him is a Rasta man. Not from the ear, but from the heart. And Rastaism come from the heart. Because the great Honorable Marcus Garvey didn't have Rasta, long Rasta. He had bald head, went to college, like a college boy. But he was the one who started the Rasta movement. Are part of the men, the schoolers. It wasn't practitioners that started the movement, it was schoolers that started the Rastafarian movement. I want people to get that right. Some Rasta man we have said, Rasta start from Bob Andy, or Rasta start from Haile Selassie, or Rasta start from XYZ. No. Rasta coming further than that. Some Rasta were just born in the 80s and the 90s, debate and contemplate and said Rasta start with Fireman Capitan, or start with Sizzla Kalonji, or start with Bob Marley. No. Those men who are great men and great legend today, they took they took the religion and brought it to a higher heights and maintained it. But it's coming from way beyond them. It's coming from way beyond them, and it didn't start before Marcus Garvey. It continued after Marcus Garvey, but there was no Rastafarianism before Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey went to Cambridge University and came back as a graduate. You understand? And they decide, listen, I only went to college to gain the knowledge. I only went to college to gain the knowledge. But my knowledge is not about to help the white man. My knowledge is about to help my black people and uplift my black people. And how can we do that? Because black people is a spiritual people. We're very spiritual. And I want to show you how black people are spiritual. If you walk out there, you buck your foot. You say Jesus Christ or Jesus Christ or Jah, oh Lord or oh God. What is this? If you buck the right foot, you say it's good luck, and if you buck the left foot, you say it's bad luck. Yeah, and that was instilled in black people. If your right eye jump, something good gonna happen. If your left eye start to jump, some bad things gonna happen. You understand? How true is it? Have that ever happened to you? I don't know. It happened to me. Do I believe in superstition? No, I believe in science, and I believe in wonders. And when things happen, sometimes it's not superstition, it's just signs and wonders. It's just you to have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding to read between the lines and read those signs. And if you can't read those signs and you don't understand those signs, you go to an elder. Whether it's a ballad or is a Rastaman, you go to the elder, you say, elder, just something just happened to me and I don't understand the meaning of it. Can you explain it to me? And he might have some insight, or he might have a friend or a colleague who have some insight, and they put all it together and they tell you what it means. You understand? So that's what Rastafarian is all about. And in my next video, my people, I'm gonna before I even go further down in the Rastafarianism, because now I covered the beginning and I covered the religion. I'm gonna be going into the journey, the movement of the Rastafarian religion and culture. But before I go into that, I have another video coming up that I have to show you, and it's on Babylon, because I received a few comments on on my website where because my website, it has a live chat room where you can be on my website and I can be on my website and I can be talking to you from anywhere. I can chat with you from anywhere around the world. And one person that logged into my website was asking me, how can you be talking about Babylons and you're talking about Rastafarians at the same time? Which side are you on? And I tried to explain to him, and him or her, whosoever was on the chat line, started to get mad and throw angry words at me and all that. And I still didn't cut the person off, because like I said, comments are always good and are always open to criticism and stuff like that. And they were saying that you're talking about Babylons, and then you're talking about Rastafarians. And that video that I'm going to be making, I'm going to be explaining to you why I talk about police officers and why I talk about Rastafarians, because people getting the misinterpretation about Babylons or Babylonians and policemen or servicemen, because policemen and servicemen, they are not Babylonians. And I'm going to explain to you where Babylon, who is Babylon, what is Babylon, where Babylonian all started and stuff, because a lot of people say policemen are Babylonians or Babylons. And I used to be naive too. I used to grow up saying that. I used to say that policemen are Babylons and Babylonians, but because we were so naive and lost in the dark to the wisdom and the knowledge, and we wasn't reading. That's why I said go back and read all these books that I mentioned in my first Rastafarian part 1, where I mentioned in these books, and I mentioned the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the teachings and the philosophy of Marcus Messiah Garvey. Go back and read those books, and then you get where Babylons are coming from. Babylonians was never policemen or servicemen. It was an empire, an empire ruled by vicious peoples that had nothing to do with policing or defending their country. Their defense was something completely, totally different, but I won't talk about that in this video, because this video is all about the Rastafarians. But in that video, I'm going to explain to you who is Babylon, what is Babylon, and where the Babylonians found. And when I do that video, I know it's gonna surprise and amaze a lot of you people. So before I go, my people, my friends, my family, my subscribers, my well-wishers, I said thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos, and I big up YouTube at all times, because I like I always says, YouTube, your respect is always up to the heavens, man. I respect you for always allowing me to bring these inspirational videos to the people. And I know a lot of things I might be saying in the videos people already know, but this is not just about people who know what I'm saying, but people who don't know what I'm saying and maybe can look it up and read and get all the inspiration and where Rastafarian is coming from, because the younger generation now, they grew up here in Cape Town and Bujabantan and these half pint and Cocotti and these men, these great men, and that's all they knew. That's all they knew. And some younger generation now only probably know about Maxica and these younger artists that's coming up. But they don't know about the past Rastafarians. They don't know where Rastafarians started from, how it started, who started it, and why it was started. So these are why I'm bringing these videos to you guys, so you guys can get an inspirational, because like I said, I have my father is a Rasta man. I have Rastafarian relatives and friends, and I'm a Rasta man within my heart. I grew up as a Rasta boy. I grew up as a Rasta man. I stayed Rasta. Don't let my bald head fool you, or let you have a different perspective of who I am. Because like I said, some of the great Rasta men, the past and even the present, they hold Marcus Garvey, who was a bald-head man, in high esteem. They hold him in very high esteem. Right? So if a Rasta man can hold a bald-head man in high esteem, a bald-head man can also hold a Rasta man in the same regard. So, before I go, my people, please subscribe to my channel. Go to my website, African50.com. That's AFRICONN50.com. You can talk to me live there and my website, and you can ask me anything you want to ask me. If there's a book that you want to buy, whether you want to buy a hard copy or you want to buy an e-book, if they're all on Amazon, you have to buy it. You're not going to get it for free. You can go to the website for free, but for you to download the book, you have to buy the book, and you can download it or you can buy it hard copy and then ship it to your your address. And they won't they won't ship these books to any PO box. It has to be a physical address, whether it's a friend or a family or yours. And for me, I always like to keep a hard copy, because sometimes I have e-copies of books and I would like to share some passage with you guys, and I can't share it because of the fear of copyright infringement. So I don't share my e-books with anyone. I just read them. But if I have a hardcover book copy, I can maybe take a picture of a page or a paragraph and I can upload it, and that way it's not copyright, because I own a hard copy of the book. So there's a difference between a hard copy and an e-copy. Just like a movie. If you own a hard copy of a movie, you have the absolute right, because once you buy a hard copy, you own the copyright to that book, to that movie. But if you download the it shows that you purchase it, but you don't have any rights to it. You can't download it. You can only buy it and have it to watch. You can download it onto a cassette tape or a DVD, a DVD cassette or anything like that. You can download it and try to make it a hard copy, unless you buy a hard copy itself and they will ship it to you. And like I said, they won't ship anything to your PO box. Amazon won't ship anything to your PO box. It has to be a physical address. It can be an address of a friend or a family or your personal address. So again, guys, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for tuning into my my channel. And like I always says, walk good until next time.